Now the Four Noble Truths again. Truth of suffering. Then truth of cause of suffering. So to understand the Four Noble Truths, not just intellectually, but experientially, these Four Noble Truths are not something to argue about. They're something to practice and realize. Few things you have to understand. The first is called recognition. We must first of all recognize that we are suffering. Our suffering needs to be recognized. Recognizing our suffering is like, work of a doctor diagnosing an illness. So that's why Buddha said the first noble truth is the truth of suffering, and the truth of suffering is to be understood. And second is called encouragement. After we recognize our suffering, we take the time to look deeply into it in order to understand its true nature, which means its causes. We must have that sort of determination to be free from confusion of our problem and other causes. And third is we called realization. This is for instance, the doctor tells you that the name and all the sort of characteristic of your illnesses. Then we will know what kind of medicine we need, right? Realization. Similarly, we can call our suffering by its specific name and then sort of recognize all of its characteristics, and then we will know how to end of our suffering. Buddha said that when something has come to be, we have to recognize its presence and look deeply into its nature. When we look deeply, we will discover the nature and its causes. Usually, the problem, people tend to think that everything is permanent. I mentioned early this morning, everything is same, everything is same, that people think everything is permanent. Permanent means without changing. According to Buddhism, when we talk about permanent means forever, no changing. Buddha said you cannot find that kind of permanent. Outside, inside, can't find permanent. So if people think everything is permanent, and when they think that everything is permanent, then they have attachment to it, right? If we understand impermanence, then we know that everything is changing all the time, moment by moment, second by second. Then we automatically sort of start thinking about needing and wanting more time to practice and study. You know why? We need to understand our life. And we need to know that what is the relationship between the idea of this Four Noble Truth and our life. Because as your understanding grows, your compassion and love and kindness will grow. And your mind will grow kind of larger and more open. When your mind is open, then you have a better capacity to receive and accept the negative feelings, and you have in order to transform them, and eventually you will find some change. So we need to understand, very important, the preciousness of this human life. And when we need to think about how that precious human life could end at any time, right? This means that we need to use our life and our mind in a good way as much as we can while we have the opportunity. Because our life can only get shorter, right? It never gets longer. Every month, every day, every minute, our life is shorter and shorter and shorter. We have to think that. And while we have this precious human life and we have these capacities, we have the opportunities, we have to use this correct and meaningfully. Otherwise, your life is very shorter. The problem is still people, sort of spend all of their time hoping and worrying, about their future. As if we are going to live forever. This is we call ignorance. Ignorance means we all know from personal experience that what we deeply desire to achieve is happiness. And what we try to avoid is suffering. But our actions and our behavior only lead to more suffering and not to the sort of lasting joy and happiness that we seek. So this is how we experience the fundamental confusion at the root of our life. This is we call the ignorance. Ignorance is the root of the cause of samsara. Wisdom and ignorance are opposite. You have to learn and meditate on wisdom. Develop your wisdom mind. Diminish your ignorance, negative emotion. Ignorance means not knowing, right? Means not knowing, but ignorance means knows a lot but wrong way. We don't want suffering. We want happiness, but we don't know how to make, the happiness. We are angry with others. We harm others. That is not cause of happiness. That is cause of suffering. That's what we call ignorance. What really happened in our life now is with this ignorance, we naturally harm others and we actually run away from the true cause of genuine happiness. So if you want to understand your life, then you have to change your view and investigate deeply. If you are ready to give away that basic sort of desire, then the happiness seems to be there already. So the idea of happiness depends on what you understand the Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths is not something that, really understand intellectually. This is Four Noble Truths. And Buddhism believe that Four Noble Truths are part of our life, which means you really have to meditate on it. Buddhism, you can divide it into three parts, three different things. We have scientific and philosophy and religion. Buddhism is not only religion. We have rich, very great, profound the philosophy and also scientific, especially about the mind. Because of we had great meditators, masters, scholarly, very wise people. Through their meditation, the explanation of our mind is amazing, because they founded the nature of mind, the nature of the reality, the nature of this phenomena. In order to understand the nature things, only one way is through meditation. Only through meditation. So fortunately, Buddhism, so far people really meditate and practice a lot, whole life. That's why they found this kind of profound and very amazing teachings, which means really related to the nature things. Relative and ultimate, we have two things. Most people understand in relatively how to build this house, how to do things, but they don't know the ultimate level. Right? This build looks like beautiful and very nice. That's relative level. Ultimate level, this building is emptiness. That is, in order to understand that level, you have to meditate. So that's why very important to meditate, because we have to change our mind. So now we finished first noble truth, which is the truth of suffering, very briefly. This is not enough. Today we don't have time to go deep. The noble truths are very profound, very vast, in detail. We can't finish today, but just to give you an idea today. So now I'm going to teach you the second noble truth, the cause of suffering. Remember, Buddha said that the truth of the cause, the truth of cause is to be abandoned. How? Meditate. The meaning of cause of suffering, remember, which are the karma and the mental afflictions. Everything that we experience is result of past actions and causes. all of our different experience of happiness and unhappiness are all a result of what we have done in the past. The Buddhist traditions teach us that all phenomena come from cause and that everything is created based on depends arising. Depends arising. You have to understand it. This is unique. The what do you call it? Dependent arising? Am I right? Dependent arising. Sometimes dependent origination. This unique, only Buddhism, no other religions, they don't talk these things. Non-Buddhist traditions do not believe that things created based on depend arising or cause and effect. Instead, they have probably like 360 sort of different views that are based on the belief that things can arise spontaneously or from a creator. These types of thoughts leads to extremes of either nihilism or eternalism. Nihilism is the belief that things arise by their own nature, and for instance, at the death, the body dissolves into the kind of four elements, and the elements will disappear, right? Disappear. And also our consciousness disappear with the body and no longer exist. That's what we call nihilism. Eternalism do not believe that past and future life are caused by sort of cause and effect. And they also believe that when the body sort of dissolves, the consciousness either goes up or down. They believe that someone sort of creates their life and everything. Therefore, the Creator causes their happiness and suffering. But according to Buddhism, suffering and happiness actually caused by cause and effect. So according to Buddhism, both these eternalists and nihilists are mistaken. Because if you have sort of this view, then there is no true realization of nature phenomena. True realization of nature phenomena is we call enlightenment or liberation. There is no chance to get enlightenment if you extremes of this sort of, the views, two views. Because according to Buddhism, based on the fact that everything that appears is caused in conditions. So we cannot result in eternalism. And because everything does appears and it is interdependent, we cannot result in nihilism. That's why Buddhism is we call middle way. So all phenomena that we experience in this samsara, this world, arise from cause and conditions, nothing other than that. So it is, this is according to Buddhism, believe that everything depends each other. And there are so many causes and conditions. So once the causes and conditions comes together, everything is possible. Everything is possible. So it is important to think about how this experience related to cause and effect. If the cause is positive or negative, then either happiness or suffering result. We call this dependent arising, and cause and conditions. That's only way how we that's the only way it is so important to meditate, because all the negative cause and negative conditions actually comes from afflictions and bad karmas. So we have to diminish that, purify. So the cause, first meaning of cause, for example, it's just like when a seed produced it fruit, right? And this is just like karma and afflictions producing all our suffering and happiness of samsara. And condition means, it's just like, field of vegetables requires water and sort of fertilizer. Then either happiness or suffering arise because of the conditions of karma and afflictions. So there are many sort of different type of karmas and afflictions, but you can learn in these things are very slowly, okay? This is kind of second noble truth, the cause. What is cause? Cause and conditions. What causes conditions? Negative karma, negative afflictions. Who created that? Our mind created that. Nobody created that. Our happiness and suffering depends on us, not someone else. If you want to happiness, you have to diminish all negative emotions. In order to diminish this, you have to meditate. That's the only way. It's very simple. If you want suffering, then you harm others, bad thoughts, bad motivations, be selfish, then you will suffer. It depends. Buddha said that, I give you the teachings, that lead to the liberation. But absolutely it depends on you. If you follow, if you meditate, yes, you will get liberation, enlightenment. If you don't meditate, don't follow, no way. Enlightenment does not come automatically in your mind. You have to purify all your negative thoughts and, all these things. We never see and we never hear nature of the phenomena. According to Buddhism, right now we are here in this world is like a dream. Exactly, it's like a dream. This is not true nature. We are dreaming. When you have a strong dream, make you cry, right? Make you laughing, right? It's a dream, but dream makes you happy or makes you suffering. For instance, when you go to sleep and you really want to be a sort of, children, and then you have a baby, and you are very happy. You are dreaming, right? Very happy because you want children, and you have children now. At the same time, children died, and you are suffering. You are crying, right? Then you wake up. Both are gone. Both are your dream. There is no children, no die, no birth, no death, right? It's your dream. But dream makes you really happy or suffering. That's sin right now. According to Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, when they see us, we are dreaming. We just, sometimes happy, sometimes suffering, up and down. This is dream. So we have to recognize this. This is not true nature. This is a relative nature, but not ultimate nature. In order to get enlightenment, you have to understand the union of the relative nature and ultimate nature. So wake up, meditate, always try to your motivation. Whatever you do, whatever you think, motivation, benefit for living beings. Because we all depends each other. I'm depends on you, you depends on me, right? Your business depends on somebody. Somebody's depends on your business because you're working for them. Everything is depends each other. There's nothing itself. All living beings so important for us because we have opportunities, right? If you work for somebody, let's say a company, very important this company for you. Without this company, how you make money? But also you, very important for this company because if without you, nobody work for them. Everything depends each other. There's nothing. So it's very important to understand, each other. So that's why the Four Noble Truths makes you understand everything. So everything is based on cause and conditions, right? You have to understand this. Investigate deeply with your mind who harms, who helps your mind. Mind is root of all. Then that's why we have to transform, right? Like training our mind. Because the mind, Buddhism actually about our mind. That's also we call scientific, right? But according to Buddhism, it is completely your choice if you want to practice Buddhism or not and follow the Buddha or not. And if you have decided that you want to follow the Buddha and practice Buddhism, then it is important to understand that there are two main sort of paths that you can follow. One is the Hinayana, we call it Hinayana. The other one is Mahayana, which means the Mahayana means like great vehicle, and the Hinayana we call fundamental vehicle. So these are actually path or teachings, right? So the teachings are called a vehicle because they have the ability to pick you up and take you on the journey from beginning to end. So that's why we call it vehicle. The Buddha's teaching is vehicle to enlightenment. To understand enlightenment. However, there are sort of many different levels of teachings within these two vehicles. Some can take you to a lesser level, some to a higher level, some to sort of complete Buddhahood or enlightenment. So it's all, depends on your motivation and who you are that will sort of decide which path you follow. For instance, I saying that, it's not only Buddhism, your motivation is so important. Someone who have bad motivation, bad intention, cannot develop compassion mind, cannot have love and kindness mind, cannot forgiveness. That's why motivation is very important. Think about it. If you investigate this intention of these two people, one person's motivation is to be successful in business. That's why, offer Buddha to have a happy life, right? Or maybe, that's, and the second person's motivation and offer the candle is for all sentient beings to have a happiness and freedom from suffering. So we understand that two candles have same qualities. There is no difference between them. And offering all truth goes to the Buddha. There is no difference between that. But we can see the difference between who is the Hanayana, who is the Mahayana, by looking at the candle or Buddha, but we can see the motivation. You understand? The offers do not lead to the same result because of your motivation, your intention. The first, the person takes this offer because of the success of the business, right? Happy life. Second person is the for happiness for everybody, not only oneself. Because of the motivation, right? Motivation. So, understand? That's why I always say, if you want, I don't say you have to. If you want to practice Buddhism, the first you have to focus on your motivation. Why you meditate? What is for? That's correctly, practice correctly means your motivation. That's why very important. If you think only yourself, that's not correct motivation. So, we have to meditate. Perfect motivation and intention really difficult for selfish people. But they can change. According to Buddhism, selfish people not so good. Always think themselves, ignore others, harm others. Not good. So now we're going to practice, we call Bodhichitta, with rest and meditation, based on Four Noble Truth. Okay? And it is also because we talked about this vehicle, right? And practice Bodhichitta is the foundation of the great vehicle. Bodhichitta is about kindness. Bodhichitta means kind mind. Bodhichitta means about wishing happiness to yourself and other living beings. That's why the great vehicle, the foundation, is the bodhicitta. If you follow the great vehicle, you have to develop bodhicitta mind first. So sitting comfortable and rest your intention on the breath in this moment. I will teach you how to meditate on bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is also, maybe you don't know, heart of enlightenment. Bodhicitta means, bodh means actually, and better Tibetan word actually. Tibetan two syllable, two words. One is, we call it shang chip. Bodh means enlightenment, right? Shang chip means bodh. Shang means to diminish all negative that harms for you and others. Shang means to purify. Chip means realization. Chitta means heart, your mind, the essence of the mind. So it is actually great compassion. You know great compassion? Compassion for everybody, right? That's what we call great compassion. I know you love your family, you love your children, husband, wife, but that's not great compassion. That's compassion, but mixed with attachment. Part of the compassion make you happy, right? But part of the attachment make you suffering. So sometimes our family, with your family, happy, sometimes suffering, because your mind mixed two things, compassion and attachment. You have to understand this. Sometimes I say people, diminish your attachment. Then how about my husband, my children? That's not attachment. That's you have to develop love and kindness, compassion with your family, not attachment. Attachment makes you suffering eventually. We don't need that. But love and kindness, compassion makes everybody happy. So bodhicitta means a great compassion. And just to relax and correct your motivation for a second, think of this. Everything is impermanence, changing all the time. Very easy to know that everything is changing, moment by moment, naturally. Very easy to understand that, right? For instance, our life, the situation, the environment, everything is changing because of it's their nature, right? It's then the changing, it's nature, relative nature. So now when you just to relax and meditate on this, when you breathe in and out, think that everything is changing, right? When you breathe out, gone, changed. Breathe in, something new coming, changed. And then second, changed, everything. When you breathe in, out, everything is changed. Just to recognize that. You don't have to go deeper than that. Just to change every, oh, my breath is different. Change. Then sort of deep breath and think about yourself and make a question, What is the most important thing for you to do at this moment, in this life? I understand now everything is changing. What should I do? This is not forever. I have this opportunity. So what should I do? How should I use my opportunity to be sort of meaningfully. You just make your this question, okay? First, understand? And then again, breathe in very deeply, slowly, and experience your body fully and completely. You can see, you can hear, you can walk, you can think, you can understand fully, completely, and also experience your mind very peacefully. Deep breath. And let go your unpleasant situations and your worries, your anger, your attachment. Just let go. Because most people worry, right? The idea of worry is makes you uncomfortable and suffer. If you understand about the suffering of changing, then you know that everything is changing, and it helps you to have sort of better life and helps you to not worry for everything. Worry also impermanence. So when you breathe in, visualizing your breath moving into your body, this is how you meditate on bodhicitta, okay? Understand? Visualize your breath moving into your body, and you start by visualizing yourself and you wishing yourself very well when you breathe in. Everything is good with your life. Happy, peace, everything is good. Then when you breathe out, you visualize your meditation is moves onto the people who you really love, and then more sort of extend to send your love and bodhicitta or great compassion to all living beings, all sentient beings. You visualize them and hope and wish them very well and send them your compassion. If you do this many times, it's automatically kind of, you don't want to harm others. By your body, action, by your speech, by your bad motivation, you will understand if you meditate on this all the time. This is the essence of our life. Because how to take care of our life and also how to take care of others. This is we called Bodhichitta Meditation. First, you have to visualize yourself because you cannot ignore yourself because there are reasons, right? You cannot visualize other living beings without you. But actually, when you visualize all living beings, actually include you, right? You are already there, but people just don't understand. So I just say, visualize yourself first, breathe in, breathe out, right? And then you can sort of move on your meditation, others that you love and, that who are suffering. And you may find that after this meditation, you feel really open and sort of, compassionate. So then again, when you breathe in, visualize yourself, envision yourself perfect, well, And when you breathe out, visualize, wishing all living beings well, happy. And sometimes very helpful between these two breaths, just focus on your breath without any visualize. When you sort of do this, when you sometimes found the right kind of spot, which means very calm and relaxed, and you experience that sort of, we call it inner peace, and be aware of this inner calmness or inner peace, and then sort of continue your meditation. This makes your heart really open more and more, and this will make you understand everything, understand others. This is practice bodhicitta, and we call it the Western meditation. Okay, now don't have lots of time, so few minutes just to relax, and then you have to visualize this with your breath. Breathe out, breathe in with bodhicitta or with the compassion meditation.